guys, it's Stu here. This is a quick video response to Novabug's new video series, his fortnightly questions. And the first one was, what are your 4 favourite controls from the past gaming consoles, basically, or gaming in general. I'm going to start right back at the beginning, or near enough back at the beginning of my gaming life. I'm going to go back to the 8-bit era, the old keyboard wars between the Spectrum C64 and Amstrad CPC, and I'm going to go for the humble keyboard. I know that's modern day keyboard, but the reason I like keyboard is there's no real scope for mistakes with a keyboard. A button does what a button does. It's same as on a modern pad. If you press the X button, you're pressing the X button, you're not pressing the A button. On a keyboard, you're pushing left, you're pressing the button you've defined as left, you're going left. There's no question about it. Same with the diagonals as well. You pushed left and down, you were doing diagonal left down. With joystick or a modern pad, there is a possibility you're going to slightly miss the right sector of the pad or the stick and do an error in your input, which could cost you your life. So I think keyboard is one of the tightest form of controls they can actually do. And a modern example of this, when we was doing the Tubers High Score Challenge on Kung Fu Master, I'd never been able to play that game on the arcade. I started playing the game with my pad that I used for all the Tubers High Score Challenges up to that point. Couldn't get in off level 1, could very rarely get to the boss. Didn't have my arcade stick at that time, but I have revisited the game with the arcade stick, and similar problems, couldn't get off level 1. But I redefined things as on a keyboard, and I could get level 4 with the keyboard. I was not having input errors like I was doing with the pad and the joystick. Just such a more precise method of control, and does work for games which have limited fire buttons. If it's just directional movement and maybe 1 or 2 fire buttons, keyboard is a good option to control the game. Obviously you couldn't do like a modern game nowadays on a keyboard, like an Xbox 360 game or a PS3 or 4 game on it, because you simply can't have the amount of buttons on the... Well, you could, but try and memorise them, you'd be bloody good to pull that trick off. So yeah, choice number 1, keyboard. Choice number 2, I'm gonna go. Unfortunately, I've got none of these to actually show you, apart from the 2 modern ones that I'm going to pick. Oh, sorry, the 1 modern one that I'm going to pick. Of course, I don't have those machines anymore, unfortunately, because I've decided to not collect retro machines anymore because it was costing too much money, basically. The second one, sorry, is going to be the 6-button Mega Drive pad, which wasn't used very often in the Mega Drive's life, but I got one when Street Fighter 2 finally saw life on the Mega Drive, and it was an amazing controller. And I'd always struggled for some reason on Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo pad. Not that I'm saying the Super Nintendo pad was bad, but well, I'm not saying it's bad at all, because that's a good pad as well. But I always struggled to do the classic Street Fighter moves, the semicircles and the quarter circles, and the Dragon Punch movement with the Super Nintendo pad. But with the Mega Drive 6-button pad, for some reason I was able to pull them off pretty much flawlessly. And just being able to have those extra buttons on the Mega Drive, which had been limited to just 3 buttons at that point, was just really good. Because I mean, obviously the Super Nintendo launched with 4 face buttons and 2 shoulder buttons, so 6 buttons rather than 3. So the Mega Drive was at a disadvantage really in that regards for more complex games. But when the 6-button pad came out, it did open that world of possibilities. And the 2 games I think I most enjoyed playing with that pad were Street Fighter 2, was it Turbo Championship Edition we got on the Mega Drive? Can't quite remember. And there was also another fighter as well called Eternal Champions, which you fought as characters throughout time really, and that was really good as well. So yeah, choice number 2, the 6-button Mega Drive pad. Third choice is going to be a I actually had one of these until a few months ago because I was selling the last bits off from my original Xbox collection. Was a light gun. It was a Magnum light gun. I'm going to try and put pictures of these controllers in when I'm editing the video, so you know what I mean. But it was basically a Magnum styled light gun, and it was just in before the time where manufacturers had to put those stupid orange things on the barrels of the guns so they couldn't be confused as real life guns. I mean, crazy world we live in. So it actually did look like a real gun, apart from the fucking wire obviously coming out the back and the connection lead to go in the console. But I suppose if you did cut the wire off there, you could be mistaken for an actual real weapon. So I understand why they've done that, but that light gun was amazing. It was so comfortable, and unlike a lot of light guns, when you're holding your arm outstretched for a period of time, became very weighty and heavy. This was kind of the right weight, and you could actually play with it a good few hours before you started becoming tired of your outstretched arm and everything, because obviously these light gun games were meant for quick blasts, and things like the Menacer and the ridiculous Super Scope Nintendo just didn't do the job. Basically, there was just poorly designed pieces of crap, if you ask me. But this light gun in particular, I can't remember the official name of it, but I'm sure it was in the style of a Magnum. It was pretty much black. It had like beveled kind of grip on the actual handle of the gun. The trigger was nice and responsive and had a nice satisfying click to it as well. It had a D-pad and a joystick housed in the top of the gun, where like the safety would be in a real weapon. So you could navigate the menus and stuff. It was just really good, and to top it all off, it was actually more an accurate gun as well. I remember playing the House of Dead 2 and House of Dead 3 with it, and I actually sold it for quite a bit of money. I actually got £20 for it, because I didn't think I'd get that. I just bought it on an eBay auction I did about 6 months ago, and it went for I think just over £20. I think it went for. So somebody's enjoying that at the moment. My final controller is going to be bang up to date, really. It's going to be the I can show you this one. It's going to be the modern Xbox 360 pad. I think as long as we're using these amount of buttons on games, this is pretty much as near perfect as you can get, really. Sure, the D-pad's a bit shit, but if you're only using fighters, it's only shit for fighters basically, and that's the only time you would really generally use the D-pad for control in a modern game. And usually the hardcore fighter fans would have an arcade stick anyway to control a fighting game. So for any casual fighter fans, that wouldn't probably bug them that much, because they would probably use the sticks anyway. So other than that, the only fault with this pad, I mean, is the battery compartment at the back, which they did rectify with the Xbox One pad. That's completely gone and housed within the actual casing of the pad now. But I think this is just such a comfortable pad to use. The weight is right. The triggers are just weighted correctly. They've got that satisfying travel distance with them, satisfying click and sponginess with them. The bumpers as well, same kind of thing. And it's just an amazing pad. Just really comfortable, and it's far better than anything PlayStation have done on the PS3 and PS4. I think the PlayStation pads have peaked around about the DualShock 2, which I think Novabug mentioned in his picks. The DualShock 2 was an amazing pad, and the best PlayStation pad, to be honest with you. The 6-axis was a complete utter load of wank, and I've not had an awful lot of experience with the PS4 pad, but I didn't like the feel of it initially. I've only played one for about half an hour, so can't really judge it on half an hour, but this is really good. It's better than the Xbox One pad, which is a revision of this, simply because they added things on the Xbox One pad which I don't like. They added textured rims around the sticks which irritate your fingers after extended play. They introduced motors into the bloody triggers which are annoying. at times. But the Xbox One pad's not far off this one as well. I'll do some honourable mentions, well, dishonourable mentions for some pads that I absolutely hated. And I'm sorry, it's top 3. I'll do a top 3 because I can't think of a fourth one. Most hated pads, because I don't really think I hated any other pads. 2 of them are unfortunately Nintendo pads. First one being the Nintendo 64 pad. I absolutely hated the Nintendo 64 pad, just couldn't get on with it at all. I just think it was just a nonsense of a pad. I think there was just so many design problems with it, and the actual design aesthetically of the console as well was a complete mess. I just didn't like the look of it. I thought the console looked like something like a Toy Town or something, but which is a shame really, because the actual circuitry and gubbins inside of it, it was a bloody good machine. It just looked so stupid. I know Nintendo have always been child friendly and probably classed as a younger person's console, but that console took it to the limit basically. The second Nintendo console for a dishonourable mention for crappy control is the original GameCube controller. Unlike the N64, though, I actually loved the design of the actual console itself, but the pad again, the buttons were just all over the shop in my opinion. It just didn't get on with it all. And the final one I'm going to mention as a dishonourable mention, I can actually show you this one, but not many people have this. It is the Ouya pad. Look at the state of that. It's horrible. It is horrible. It's got 4 face buttons, as you can see there. A D-pad that is so crap, it's unbelievable. Sticks which are so crap, it's unbelievable. And believe it or not, when you actually get one of these Ouyas, it's battery powered, these by the way as well. There's no way you can actually manually connect it to your console. Battery powered. Where are the batteries? You tell me, right, where are the batteries in this? Right, you've got a completely smooth back there. It's completely smooth, no compartments. No compartments there. That is actually a touchpad for a mouse marker you can use, which is probably the only thing that's actually quite innovative about it. Obviously, other people have done that now as well. But where would you think the batteries are housed in this? You'll never guess in a million years, because there's no instructions when you get one of these consoles to what goes in it. But the batteries, believe it or not, are here. Right, you ready for this? You ready for this? That comes off, and the batteries are in there. Right, well, the battery is in there, because the other battery is, of course, and they're pain in the ass to get off. The other battery is, of course, in the other side of the pissing pad. How stupid is that? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that response, and I'll put a link to Novabug's original video in the channel while I put my shitty Ouya pad back together. And thanks for watching, guys.